Do you ever wonder how much time you actually spend riding your horse? Think about it. Every time you boot up the game and jump in a lobby and embark on some activity, whether it's bounty hunting, stranger missions, or even running around after legendary animals, gathering ingredients for Moonshiner, or even gracefully hunting regular animals for Trader as well, I bet you're on your trusty steed 90% of the time, and that's why it's so important that the horse you're riding is fast, has lots of stamina, lots of health, and can take a lot of damage, and also accelerate quickly to get you out of dangerous situations. In this video, we're going to be going in depth on every role horse in the game, and I will be ranking each one from worst to best. If you want to see a full stable horse ranking list, I can do that too, but since the role horses are all very close to the top of the list, we will just do these for now for those players who've purchased all the roles and want to know where to look when they invest money in a role horse. So if you enjoyed this video at any point, or if you just find it helpful, let me know by dropping a like on it, and if you want to stay up to date with everything Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, consider hitting that subscribe button with your bell notifications turned on. So jumping right in, as a baseline, all role horses are pretty much top horses in this game. There's some other normal level progression horses up there too, but you won't find a statistically quote-unquote bad role horse. What you will find though are just about an even overall stat rating for each horse, and we'll get into what I mean by that in just a moment. And for the sake of ranking, we're taking max level, or basically level 20 role horses. You can find a spreadsheet linked in the description below which breaks down all horses and their respective stats too. So coming in at the number 5 spot, the worst role horse in Red Dead Online, that is the Cladroober. Both the Silver Cladroober and the Dapple Rose Gray Cladroober make the last spot on this list here today. These horses cost $950 and have some of the highest stamina and health ratings in the game, with 7 out of 10 bars in the meter filled for both of those stats. You'll be able to travel far distances on your Cladroober and not worry about running out of stamina, regardless of if you're pressing in that left thumbstick to regain some extra stamina along the way. Not only that, but it's a great horse to take on missions with large-scale gunfights where enemies are doing a lot of damage, like the Owlhoot family legendary bounty, as well as the other ones that require you to run a fair amount on horseback, or where it's just better to be on your horse and not on foot, like Tobin Winfield, Philip Carlier, or even Red Ben Clemson, depending on how you like to approach that bounty. So while stamina and health are going to be pretty much as good as they can get, the Cladroober really suffers in the speed category though, with only 4 out of 10 bars in the speed meter when you inspect the horse at the stables. Obviously, an incredibly high top speed wouldn't be expected on a horse built so solid as a Cladroober, and speed is obviously the trade-off, but the Cladroober does make up for a slowish nature compared to the other role horses because it does have a very fast acceleration, again compared to other horses built more for higher health and stamina as opposed to speed and swiftness. The handling though, well, you will notice it does lack in that department as well, with only 4 out of 10 bars for the handling meter. Perfectly fine for riding along the trails, but maybe not the best for dodging incoming riders in the tight alleyways of Saint Denis or avoiding last-second collisions with trees out in the woods. Moving on to the number 4 spot on our list, the Gypsy Cob role horse. It was just added in the Naturalist update, and you can get both the level 20 Naturalist Splash Bay or the Splash Piebald Gypsy Cobs for $950, or again 38 gold bars. It's very similar to the Cladroober, with one stat basically being a little bit better, and we'll get into that in a moment. In terms of total health and stamina, you'll find the Gypsy Cob has just as much as the Cladroober, rated at both 7 bars out of 10 in both of those categories. And this horse is meant for long hauls where stamina is very important, and it will be a great companion in gunfights where you want your horse to tank shots so you can focus on taking out the enemies and not necessarily maneuvering with the horse so much to avoid it falling to the ground and entering its down state where you need to revive it. It edges out the Cladroober by 1 speed point, meaning you will be traveling to where you need to go a little bit faster on the Gypsy Cob, and with 5 out of the 10 points for speed, it certainly is noticeable over long treks for 3-star bounties, but maybe short hops for certain missions or objectives, you won't see this advantage as much, but it is there, so just be aware of that. Now, as for acceleration, the Cob clocks in at 4 out of 10, definitely lower on the list, and also the Cob's handling at 4 out of 10. So overall, this horse is a solid choice for legendary animal missions because it can run long distances, so you can chase down your animal if you're having trouble, and missions where you fight lots of enemies, you can be confident to stay on your horse and not necessarily worry about it getting shot to death because this thing is a total tank. Number 3 on our list here today is the Breton. Both the Steel Gray and the Mealy Dapple Bay Breton cost $950, $60 or again 38 gold bars. In terms of health, slightly less than the Clatteruber and the Gypsy Cob with a rating of 6 out of 10 in the health category, but it does have a 7 out of 10 rating in the stamina category. Now, it is the bounty hunter horse after all, and you're meant to be chasing down high profile bounties, catching up to them, and then either using a bolus or a lasso to get them off the horse to subdue them, so it's imperative you have higher ratings for stamina so you can maintain pace with these targets. Of course, you can use this horse for any purpose and not just for bounty hunting, but just to give a little bit of context here of why this horse is in the game. Now, as for speed, this horse has 6 points in the speed bar, meaning it is faster than the 2 previous horses on our list. The acceleration and the handling for the Breton both clock in at 4 out of 10 points each. The key differences are, of course, slightly less health and slightly more speed. You'll see that trend continue here with these horses as we move through our rankings as well. The horses tend to go from higher health and higher stamina stat horses to higher speed and acceleration horses, with very, very small trade-offs to health and stamina respectively. Number 2 on our list is the Criollo horse. This is the collector horse, and both the level 20 Bay Frame Overo and the Marble Sabino will run you $950, or of course again 38 gold bars. That's the same for every horse. These horses have exceptional statistics when you equip the right saddle and stirrups combo, also discussed a little bit later in this video. With 5 points for health and 6 points for total stamina, you can be sure that you can ride this horse into battle and it will stay standing by the end of it. Sure, it may not have as high of a health rating as some chonky boys like the Clad and Cobb, but it completely dominates other horses when it comes to speed and acceleration, with 7 points for speed and 5 points for acceleration, and this is where the Criollo really shines. You can go from point A to point B so fast with the Criollo to collect your items and sell your full sets fast. Now, in terms of handling, it's rated at 4 points out of 10, but on the trail, it really doesn't feel like that. It's quite nimble when you're riding it, and you can be sure to avoid collisions at the last second, say if some NPC decides to get in your way, which happens all the time, so that's important in the game. Number 1 on our roll horse ranking list here today, the best horse in Red Dead Online is the Norfolk Roadster. This horse is unbelievable, folks. Similar to the Criollo, it does clock in at 4 points for total health and 6 for stamina, 7 points for speed, and 6 points for acceleration out of 10. This is a great overall horse for day-to-day use and travel. Again, not as tanky per shot as a Clatteruber or a Gypsy Cob, and that's okay. The Norfolk Roadster is a grinder's horse. The players that want to multitask and maximize their playtime efficiency to the fullest extent look no further than the Norfolk Roadster. Cycle legendary animals for the Naturalist, donate the pelts to crypts at camp, knock out some daily challenges, treasure maps, or even bounties with some collecting in between your moonshine cells and trader resupplies. This horse will allow you to do it all with complete ease. Despite the apparently lower health rating here in-game, very rarely does this horse need to be revived, and it has a high tolerance to incoming fire despite not having a full health bar, and if you ever need some quick health, don't be afraid to pop a horse medicine. You'll be good to go after that, trust me. The only horse in the game with a slightly higher overall rating is the Black Arabian, and you can see what I mean by that by checking out the spreadsheet, which breaks down all the stats in the stables, plus additional tests that get accurate results for stats that Rockstar doesn't necessarily inform you of before you buy your horses. So that's the ranking list for these roll horses from worst to best. One thing to note as well is the Criollo and the Norfolk Roadster are actually rated higher than the Turkoman and Missouri Foxtrotter in the game, which means if you're a new player and haven't necessarily reached levels 50 and 60 plus requirements for those two horses, check out the roll horses because you'll actually be better off with those while you continue to progress in Red Dead Online. With any of these horses, whatever you choose and whatever your favorites are, I always recommend you use the Nacogdoches saddle combined with the hooded stirrups, as that is the absolute best combination for any horse. Doesn't matter what horse. It's easy to look at the saddle statistics and say, well, these have a higher percent than the Nacogdoches, so it has to be better, right? Wrong. The only stat for saddles that really matters is the one that prevents stamina drain, referring to the horse's bar of stamina, what you actually use and what regenerates while you're riding. The horse stamina core and health core stats don't really matter because you could just feed your horse a carrot or hay and be good to go, and with the Nacogdoches and hooded stirrups combo, you'll be adding an extra 3 bars of speed and acceleration to any horse you choose to ride, plus you'll also get a combined 85% less stamina drain on your horse, 35% from the Nacogdoches saddle alone, and also an additional 50% from the hooded stirrups, which you unlock at level 54, meaning you're basically never going to run out of stamina. Sure, there are some special saddles which prevent slightly more stamina drain than the Nacogdoches, but you can't customize the stirrups on them, meaning you're forfeiting that 50% additional bonus that the hooded stirrups give you. So with all of that out of the way, we will be wrapping up the video right there. Let me know if you want to see a full horse ranking video. We probably won't go into too much detail as this video because that would take like an hour and a half or even 2 hours, but we will rank every horse in the game from worst to best so you can see where your favorites stack up and also see where to look if you want to buy an even better horse to help you out in game. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, hopefully I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Red Dead Online, Red Dead Redemption 2, and even Rockstar games as a whole. We'll be sure to keep you guys up to date with updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks. And we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel daily, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. I practically live on all three of those websites, and you can feel free to strike up a conversation or even ask me a question. Whatever it may be though, folks, you can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of my social media links, including my Discord, can be found in the description down below. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.